Welcome back, everyone. It's challenge time. This challenge is for the Peaceful Parenting Masterclass with Dr. Laura Markham. Our inspiration for this masterclass is Dr. Laura's book, Peaceful Parent, Happy Kids. So, Dr. Laura, we all in our community, we like getting a lot of knowledge, but rather than leaving it at that, we like to go out and take some action. But life kind of gets in the way sometimes, and good intentions kind of get flushed down the drain. So what we do is at the end of each masterclass, I request our expert guides to issue us a teeny tiny challenge that we have to do on the same day that we watch the masterclass. So do you have a challenge for us?
I do.
Okay.
So this is coming from what we just discussed about mastery and coaching. So I would love it if each person watching now could today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day just notice how you tend to jump in with your child or your children. And examples might be maybe your child is trying to do something and they can't quite get it. They can't turn the faucet on or off, or they can't, get their shoe on, or they can't get their backpack, whatever, adjusted properly. Notice that we tend to jump in and do those things for them. And maybe you could just watch and encourage and coach and ask questions and not actually jump in. And maybe sometimes you need to even be a little more involved. Like if one child is upset at the other child, we what do we normally do? We jump in and play the game for the child. We say, stop doing that to your brother. What if we instead said to the child who's upset, you're upset because of XYZ. You could tell your brother, please stop teasing me. Or you could tell your brother, I don't like it when you call me a baby, or whatever, right? You were giving the child the dignity, and we're empowering him or her to stand up for themselves, right? We're even giving them the words to say, because that's what coaching does sometimes when they didn't know what to do, but we're not playing the game for them, right? So just in general, watch what you're doing, no matter how old your child is. Watch for the ways, maybe your 14-year-old comes home and is ranting and raving about the teacher, and you find yourself doing what I would want to find myself, what I would usually do, which is, let me tell you how to handle that, because I'm a professional advice giver, right? No. I had, when I had a 14-year-old, I had to learn to go like this, like, no, that's not what we do. We go, oh, wow, no wonder you're upset, well, I wonder what you could do now. Yeah, maybe you could do that. I wonder what might happen then, right? I wonder what might happen then. These are all ways of coaching. These are all ways for the child to develop the skills for the mastery that we want them to develop.
Love that. For me, this comes up a lot with chores. It's like my daughter's 11 now, and I think as they get into those tween years, they get lazier. I don't know how that happens. So there were some chores that she used to do before, but she kind of slips, and rather than pick a fight with her, I just end up doing it myself.
Yeah.
So that's probably.
I think that's a great example of where we want them to do something and we don't know how to get them to do it. So we relax our expectation, right? Even though we think it'd be a good thing for them to do the chore, right? So I think in that kind of a case, it is a hard one. That is a hard one because they get distracted. They have so much more going on then that chores just are like boring to them at that point, of course. And why would they want to do it any more than we want to do it, right? So, and they don't yet have the prefrontal cortex that says, we got to get this done, right? The way you and I, if we don't empty the dishwasher, things are going to be harder later when we try to load it. We know that. But the kid doesn't really have a prefrontal cortex fully enough developed at 11 yet to do it. So that's a great example of coaching, not controlling, right? Where we could instead think, what does she need in order to do her chore? She needs to have a sense of it's important. She needs to have a sense of its value to the family. She needs to get some reward instead of it's just expected, right? Like putting on her shoes is just expected. You're not saying anything about it. But maybe emptying the dishwasher, you need to make it more fun. Maybe you need an empty the dishwasher song. Maybe you need to do it with her and do a dance as you do it. Whatever it is, to reclaim that as a chore for her, but to have it, to coach her so that it's something she's motivated to do, right? Whatever it is would be an example of how to not just back off your expectation, but to coach her.
Right. And that reminds me, it's a funny story. It's Trash is her responsibility. She picked it because it's quicker than the dishwasher, and she definitely doesn't want to do laundry. But she kept complaining about trash, and so I ended up paying a little more and got those trash bags which smell good. And it's so much easier now to see. Look at these trash cans, trash bags, right?
That's so great. What a great example. You know, um, Anne Lamott said, take yourself through your day the way you would your favorite mental patient relative, with lots of patience and many small treats. And I've often thought of that. It's like, how do we manage ourselves through a hard day? How do you manage your kids through a hard day? If the trash smells good, we're more likely to do it. You know, just anything that makes it easier is worth it usually. I mean, not if it's a compromise to your values, but this is not.
Right. All right. So, everyone, we have our challenge. So, starting today, and preferably try and do this at least for a week. By then, it'll be a habit, or you'll get the hang of it, right? So, the idea is to observe, see where we end up jumping in, and to decide to step back and keep that imagery of the soccer coach. We want to be on the sidelines. We don't want to go striking the goals for them. All right, so that's our challenge for this masterclass. Dr. Laura, talk to us a little about where everyone can find you outside this conference.
My website is AHA Parenting, like aha moments. So it's AHA parenting.com. And it's got 1,000 pages, and it's got information for parents of all age kids. There's a newsletter, because I know it's hard to remember to go to a website unless you have a problem you're looking up. So there's a newsletter that I send out every week. It's free. I get regular emails from people telling me, I've been getting your newsletter for a couple of years now, and it's completely changed my life. And I love that. It's a free newsletter that I will never know this person. I'll never meet them unless they come to one of my talks when I come to their town. But it changed their life. And so, sometimes parents say to me, but there's so many every week it comes and I haven't read the last one. That's okay. You can just press delete, don't worry about it. Next week when it comes, maybe you'll have time to read it. And I just figured this is the way it is with parenting. One step, next step. If you do 2 steps forward and 1 step back, you'll still get where you want to go. So anyway, that's where you can find me. And as you said, my books are available pretty much everywhere at this point. If it's not at your library, ask them to carry it.
You have multiple books, right? You have a companion book that goes with this. That's the workbook. And you have a book that is specifically for parents of siblings also,
yes,
right?
Yes. And the workbook is my 3rd book. And you don't have to have read the first book to do it, but it takes you more in depth in the places that parents have the hardest time. Setting limits, managing their own emotions, right? Those are really the 2 big things. And it also has like a list of games to connect more with your child.
I like that part, the list of games, because I'm not naturally a playful person. So it's good to get ideas that I can kind of tweak and modify for our family. And you also offer an online course, right?
Because I do. Yeah.
I don't promote too many courses, but the one that I promote regularly is your course. And the reason I do that is it connects. I've taken that course. So that's the only course that I've taken. And it really made a huge difference to me. And every time I share it with our community, I get back thank yous. I get back thank you emails because it changed their lives. So I know that there is one that starts in September.
So I teach the class 3 times a year, September, January, and April. So since it's May, we will, I would encourage people to subscribe to my newsletter. And then at the bottom of the newsletter, I have, the articles. And then at the very bottom, there's always either a promotion for one of my books or for the course. So when the course opens, I usually send a letter to all of my subscribers saying, hey, the registration is open for the course. Because if they register in the first 2 weeks of the registration, it's 10% off. So perfect. I always let my subscribers know that it's a special thing.
Awesome. All right. So everyone, I'll include all that information below this masterclass. So you have it all in the bio section below the masterclass. On behalf of everyone in our community, Dr. Laura, thank you so much for doing this with us. I know we've gone quite over time, but I really appreciate that you spent your time so generously with us. Thank you.
It's always my pleasure to talk with you, Samita. I am a great fan of your work and of what you've built. You and I met in Austin how many years ago, right? And then you told me you were going to start doing this work after that. And I've been so delighted to watch what you've built and how you're serving so many parents who are, you're touching the lives of so many families and so many children, and the world is a better place for that. So thank you.
Thank you. I do it for myself. It helps others. That is good. All right. So everyone, so here's what I would recommend for everyone viewing this. Take a few minutes right now, collect your thoughts, think of maybe a couple of aha moments you've had personally for yourself during this masterclass, and share them in our Facebook group. It's Positive Parenting Village. It's free. It's a closed group, so it's moderated. And in this process of sharing it with others and discussing it with others, you will end up cementing it in your own mind. It's kind of like the modern day journaling with a more public accountability, right? So give that a shot. And if you know anyone else who can benefit from this masterclass, your sister, cousin, somebody in your family, your colleagues, anyone that you think, even someone in your church group, or somebody you meet at the park, anyone, pass this on, because you don't know what one small act that you do can make a huge difference in somebody else's life. So with that, we are going to say goodbye. I will see you all back in the next masterclass. Bye, Dr. Laura.
Goodbye, Sumita.